Hey everyone, so today we are going to be doing a 3D acrylic flower. And I'm going to start that design with my peppermint glitter. And peppermint glitter is from our EGS collection. You can use it with your dip system liquid, or you can use it with your monomer. I'm going to take some monomer, put it into my damping dish. I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to wet the brush, and I'm going to tap the belly of the brush right on the damping dish. Gonna take a small bead of acrylic. And I'm going to place that bead here in the middle. So you don't want to press this bead right away because it's still very wet. See how shiny that bead is? That means it's still wet, really wet. So what I'm going to do is wait for this bead to turn a little matte before I start working with it. You got to be patient with it. You don't want to move the acrylic too quick. What I like to do as well is add a few drops of acetone into my monomer, and that will dry the bead out quicker. But I had an accident yesterday and I spilled my my acetone. So we're skipping the acetone part, but I think this bead is ready. I'm going to take the tip of my brush and I am going to curve this bead. So I'm going to push the bead in and create a little curve. I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to flatten out this bead. I'm not using my brush like this. I'm using the side of my brush. And I like to use the side of my brush because it gives it some texture. It gives like some little, I don't know if you can see it from here, but you see that? Kind of creates these little grooves in the petal. Okay, I'm going to take another bead. And I'm just going to drain some of that liquid out on my paper towel. I'm going to place that bead next to the other petal. And again, we're going to let this bead dry up a little bit before we start working with it. Okay, I'm going to wet my brush. Take the tip of my brush and curve this acrylic. Kind of like a little moon. So now I'm going to go back in with my brush and I'm going to flatten out this bead. Now I am just going side to side. I'm going to take another bead. I am going to make this bead a little bit bigger just because I want this petal to connect with it. So I'm going to connect this petal with these two. So again, we're going to curve that acrylic. Make sure it connects to the petals. I'm going to flatten out that petal, just going side to side. Gonna take another bead. So these beads are going to be smaller than the first beads because these petals are going to go in the middle of the other beads. So I like to place my bead in the middle of the two petals. So here and here or here. I'm just waiting a few seconds to let it dry up. Okay, I'm going to start to flatten out the bead. So you can add another petal, but I'm going to stop there and just do the middle of my flower. Taking a small bead of acrylic. I'm going to place it right in the middle of that flower. Then I take a dotting tool and I'm going to poke a hole right in the middle of that bead. So again, we're waiting for this acrylic to dry up a little bit before we actually poke the hole. Okay. So I'm just going to go right in the middle, poke a hole, and then we're going to do circular motions to open up that middle. And that's it. So there's your flower. I'm going to add a small leaf here. So I'm going to use the same method. We're going to take your monomer, tap the belly of the brush to get some of that liquid out. Grab your bead. Go right in here. So let that bead dry out before you start to flatten out the bead. So I'm going to take the tip of my brush, press right in the middle of that petal. Now I'm going to drag this bead down. Drag it. I'm going to use the side of my brush to shape the leaf. Now I'm going to take the side of my brush and flatten out the side of that leaf. And there you go. And again, the products that I use for this flower are my nail sculpting powder in Extreme French White, And my Elite Revolution nail sculpting liquid. And the base color that I used is Peppermint Glitter from our EDS collection. So there you guys have it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Please subscribe. I'm very new at this YouTube stuff, but I'm sure I'll get the hang of it pretty soon. Thanks for watching, guys.